Okay, so August 19th, 2021, this episode of the Ardent Tavern is beginning. And I believe our first topic is feedback on Season 3 of Raids with Orla's Velt. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to say about Season 3?
Lot, lots and lots of death in the lava.
No kidding.
Amen to that.
Yeah, Orla's is a huge challenge.
I do like the puzzles, though. I think that they added something to the raid that has not been there previously.
Yeah, their puzzles are a nice challenge, but I hate puzzles.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of puzzles, but I am really happy that there's a way to interact with the other group members while you're during a raid. You know, instead of just running around and hitting stuff.
Yeah, I think it was something that it just adds something. I mean, it gives people something to think about while it's just not mindless, go kill things. Does anybody have anything to say about how some of the other raids have changed? I've noticed a big increase in difficulty with Lilith.
I have only gotten to the start of the platinum, so I can't really speak too much to the group content there. But the going from gold to platinum, it does seem like the difficulty really ramped up quickly.
Out of curiosity, is anybody able to solo beyond the platinum?
I haven't been able to solo pass Burns, so.
I don't know if I've tried it or not, but I'm sure I could do a couple of the raids in heroic.
I couldn't do anything past silver on my holy priest. Like, I have to have a group for the rest of them, and I'm assuming that's because I have a very low DPS rate. But I don't know if other characters have that issue or not.
My lightning warrior had no problem getting all the way through gold and everything except Velt, of course. Once I hit platinum, it was I've only done a few solo platinums, and things like woods are difficult because of the ads. But Palace was kind of a nightmare. Cloisters was tough only because it's so difficult to find those fungi at Magwood. I really wish those were easier to see. Otherwise, solo, I can go through 30 to 40 mana pots just at Magwood.
That's crazy. That's kind of on our topic list as well. It's not something that I know much about because, to be quite frank, I never use the blueberry potions, but apparently there is a lot of controversy over mana and the blueberry potions and whether they should stay or go or something should be done. Does anybody know about that issue? it seemed to be a popular thing in the forums.
Be forced to pound down mana pots after mana pots to refill, because that's all they do is they just blast, 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 and suck down mana pots.
But I don't know. I don't spam my spells, so like I said, I've never had that issue.
Type something and say something new. Hi everyone.
Hi, Damon.
There. He's here. Sarah's standing here.
Sarah.
Here, Sarah, have a seat. Oh, she's running away. Okay.
Hey, thanks for fixing Damon's stuff, Sarah.
Yeah, she's always letting me know what's going on.
But yeah, the thing about potions, like the potions have a few different issues. It's like, but the main issue that I've seen with mana potions is just that they seem to be the solution to mana. And I feel like some of that has been taken care of with some of the patches to our characters recently, particularly the 15-point talent, the shaman talent in the middle, and a couple of other things. But it still seems like mana potions are used as a solution to all mana issues, and then everything else gets thrown into, whatever you want.
Do we know what classes are having issues with mana? Because as a holy priest, I don't run into mana issues. I mean, like I said, I don't spam my spells, so I'm not a real good example, but I've never had an issue.
Oh, yeah, and as a marksman hunter, I don't have as much of an issue either, but I know my nature friends do.
Yeah, my nature hunter chews through mana pretty quickly, especially at the elders, the 95 elders.
And I'm seeing that Shadow Priest also has mana issues. Anna says Fire Wizard.
Yeah, any fire wizard that uses that spell that has like a 500 mana cost every few seconds. Yeah, that's the one. And a mana fire. Any wizard with mana fire, they're using all their mana in a matter of 20, 25 seconds.
But isn't that the cost of the spell?
Yeah, it is, but I feel like Mana Fire, it's the only spell in the game that really does that. Like it feels like the one exception. Like there are like a couple of other spells that might be similar with 250 mana cost. Just Mana Fire seems like it's a bit overkill, especially with its with the 5-second cooldown.
Right, yeah. Venom of the Serpent costs a lot of mana, but it has a large cooldown to go along with it for Nature Hunter.
I mean, I'm not well versed with Fire Wizard. Is Mana Fire a high damage spell, or is it like the team mana replacement spell?
Me neither, but I think it's moderate damage, but because it's so spammable, it does quite a bit of damage. Like, I've even heard a couple of Fire Wizards say it's their staple spell, like their main source of DPS.
Well, that would explain why they're having mana issues. If you choose the spell that costs 500 mana as your main spell, that I don't know, that just seems. Damon, is there any feedback that you're looking for regarding the raids or mana specifically? Well, he was here.
You say, oh, Lilith is way too easy or something, or Orla's Velt is way too hard, compared to the others. Because basically we want them all, about equal, approximately. Not exactly, but, approximately. You wouldn't want it to be that, say, Orla's Velt on bronze is harder than, Lilith on platinum or something like that,
I find Orla's Velt to be very difficult because of all of the chains. Trying to stay out of the AoE fire that does a lot of damage and trying to stay on the chains is very difficult for me.
Yeah, which part? Which chain or whatever, or which room?
There's two of them. One is Nicodemus, and then the other one is Zell.
Oh yeah, Nicodemus is pretty tricky, isn't he?
It is so easy to fall off the chains. If there was a way to make them just a bit wider, and also once you move off, from fighting Nicodemus or Zell onto the chains, if you could somehow not automatically when you
We lost you.
right when I go to either hit a heart or one of those totems, I fire and it will target the immune boss and it'll walk me off the platform or the chain into the lava.
Yeah, because I feel like with Nicodemus, Zell, and also the Red Prince, like I feel like those bosses should be untargetable when they go into their special mode.
What do you mean? Or why? I guess.
Well,
It
in
auto
the
targets rather than targeting the heart or the totem, it automatically tries to target the boss that's immune.
I have that problem with the prince too.
yeah, in the case of Nicodemus and Zell, the problem is that sometimes you're going to be standing on the chain, and not all the chains are going to be within 40 meters of the boss. And even if they are, some of the characters are melee. And so if you're targeting a boss that you're not going to do damage to anyway, just to run off the cliff, and it seems like a really bad idea.
Okay.
The other issue that I've had problems with, I don't know about other people, but at the Red Prince final battle, if there are a lot of AoE spells that give a lot of like they take up your whole screen, and trying to pay attention to the floor for the red bubbles is impossible when you've got a nature hunter doing the serpent spell or
Right, the ice cloud that
the
completely blocks your
the
view looking
shaman
down.
the shaman spell that makes the ground orange.
Right.
You
Right,
can't
that
see anything.
confuses you.
Yeah, there should be a way to shut off the AOE effect.
I mean, we're telling people don't use AOE spells, but when the AOE spells provide a lot of damage, that's kind of counterintuitive, and I don't know, that it makes that battle very, very difficult because you
Yeah, because
just
you
can't
can't see
see.
the ground. Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
I have a question for Damon. Do you have any data on which routes are used more than others? Like, say, for example, you have multiple routes in a raid. Do you have data to see whether there are trends, like across servers, or where people are mostly favoring one route over the other?
No, we're not tracking that. Although it's an interesting question. No, we just didn't think to track that. We sort of, I don't know. I mean, Sean set up the different routes for different play styles, but we haven't. We're not tracking that, it would be interesting to know if everybody's going one way.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I think in Velt specifically, there's the Mushi route, and every time I try to convince people to go that way, no one wants to go that way because it's so much harder. So I think it would be interesting to see whether there's any data on it, but I guess there's not. I don't know whether you could see like the number of times a boss has been defeated on your end, but if you could, that would be, I guess, some way that you could figure out which routes people are taking.
Yeah, if we wanted to track it, we could add some stuff like some triggers on the ground, invisible triggers that people wouldn't see that would trigger an event on the server, and then we'd see, which is kind of interesting. I'll ask Sean. He might know of a way. He's actually visiting his brother Liam, who used to be a programmer on the game for a while, by the way, right now. I don't know if you guys know all that stuff, but Liam was the main programmer for a long time, and now Sean's taken over.
How's Liam been doing?
Oh, good. I think he's pretty happy. He's got new stuff going on. But Sean likes to code and do design stuff too.
Yeah, Sean's really impressed me, like, since he's joined. He's done a lot of cool stuff.
Ah, good. I'm glad. I'll let him know. He works really hard.
How long did it take for him to get that the new raid out, the Orla's Velt?
It's really hard to say because he's doing a million things at once. So, I don't know. I would say it was probably a third of his time while we were working on raids. There was other stuff going on. We got so many things going on. Like right now, our big thing is there was a gold exploit on US1. So we've been working on figuring out what it is and cleaning up the mess. So things are always popping up. So it's really hard to know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Okay. Somebody said, Mathfish said, did you go into global voice chat? I was wondering if that was for me or not.
Lorena, I believe.
Okay.
So, Damon, is there anything that...
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. Damon, is there anything that you can say about maybe future raids that are coming up?
Well, obviously, there's the big one when we do season 4, which will be the final raid. Because the top's still not open, so that will be the final boss in this set anyway.
So, are we going to have like different sets at different seasons, or are they just going to like kind of repeat this same series?
We're not sure yet. We'll probably reuse some of the current raids, and the plan is to sort of make changes to all of them a little bit as we go. and then always add at least one new one every time. But I mean, I don't want to overpromise, but I could see us at some point adding a second set of raids that's live at the same time as the first set of raids.
Have you thought about swapping out different raid zones each season?
Yeah, possibly. We want some variety, obviously, but we don't want to redo the entire tower every season. So that's our basic strategy on that.
Well, I know on US2 at the very least, they've been very popular. It's really brought a lot of people together, doing open raids and that kind of thing.
So I'm really curious, what is it? Why do people want to do raids? I mean, obviously we had a lot of ideas why people would want to do raids, but we want to know what's actually motivating the players and why they're fun and why you guys like doing them.
Dropped.
I like the team aspect of it, everybody trying to work together for a common goal.
Yeah, I'm with PD on that. Just group content, team play.
Okay.
I mean, the event zones do some of that, but realistically, I mean, you go in, you kill Prisma or, whatever boss it is, and okay, you're done.
Right.
It's just a slaughter fest, and there isn't really any. There's not any thought behind it. You don't have to think about it. With the raids, you actually have to work as a team. You have to get, a hunter. You have to get DPS, and you have to get a healer, and you have to get a tank. And each of those roles need to know how to play that role.
That's cool. Good. Yeah.
The Veil ladder is kind of like that too. It's a fun team play.
Yeah, that was something that Sean added to the ladder, adding more there. And basically it was based on player feedback, realizing how much players like the ladder in the Veil.
Speaking of ladder, have you thought of ever having like a permanent one of those? Because that's something I've been trying to push for a while now. And the one that was on in the Veil was quite popular for the entirety of the event.
Oh,
yeah.
Like the Rift? Right.
Yes, we've definitely thought about that. And would love to do it. It's just a question of when we have the time and the resources to do it. But I mean, I really want to get all that stuff in there. Aha, permanent ladders +1. Yes, okay.
Yeah, as Carolox, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, mentioned, Rift is like a good opportunity for that because everything is already, the bosses are already there. It just has to be scaled up, I guess.
Right. Yeah, no, I think the Rift was one of our candidates for the content to provide. I mean, the question is how much. So obviously, the raids are a lot more involved than just a single boss in a room, So the question is, if we did a ladder, would that be enough, or would we have to add a lot of content around each boss on the ladder?
I think if it's a ladder, people would understand that, you're just going from boss to boss. I don't think you'd have to add a lot of content. What I would see possibly being a complaint would be, rewards, and there's only so many rewards that you can give out, but I would love to see the Rift as a scaled zone.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's definitely on our list, on my list, because I think it's doable and would add a lot of gameplay for players.
I'd like to see the cost of Black Fury Forge dropped, so people might be more likely to go in there.
You'd like to see what?
Black Fury Forge? I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Oh, yeah, Black Fury Gorge. What about it?
Yeah, Gorge. Yeah, nobody goes there anymore.
I know, which is weird.
So, why can't we just, lower the price a little bit?
Yeah, sure we could.
Another zone I think would be really cool to scale up would be tombs.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Tombs would be fun.
Okay.
You're saying okay like you're gonna do it, dude.
No, I'm listening.
Don't leave them on.
I'm not.
Well, basically,
Well,
we have these
the-
like end game things that they were end game for a while, but now it's just kind of become there, and nobody knows why it's there or what it was for. You know, it's just kind of become this zone that's wasted almost, and it would be nice to see those used again. Okay. The next thing that was on our docket for today was the quality of life build that is coming up at some point, maybe this year. I know that there's a 39 or 40 page thread on the forums about it, and no, I did not go through them all.
All right, so is that all? Yeah, it's an insanely long thread. I definitely kept up on it for most of the time, but when I think it reached about page 30, I haven't reviewed it since. But there's just so many fabulous ideas on there, and we've got a big list going, and I can tell you that we've started some internal working on it already and have been for the past few months. We're not going to go into huge details about that, or Damon's giving me a look. But why don't you tell us all what are your top, say, 4 things?
My top thing right now is that anytime I get a new mount, all of my mounts, the rest of them go into hiding. When you go to click on the mount list, if you have more than one page of mounts and you don't have a mouse that has a scroll button that you can use to scroll, there's no way to get to the second page. I effectively lost 3 mounts this week. Having something like either like the wardrobe or even just a scroll bar that is on the list that's already there would be helpful. I'm also seeing a request for a toy box because the toys take up way too much space in the bags in the vaults.
Just can you all hear me?
Can now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So on the mount thing, yeah, we have a fix coming for that. You guys will like it. It'll be really nice.
Yay!
Yay! And also for toys and pets too. So
Caroline says turn off shields. I don't know what that means.
I'd like to be able to see my weapons. The shields are always in the artwork when I'm walking around.
you want to turn off shields?
Yeah, like you
I
do.
think being able to see the shield himself so that he can see his weapon and not see the shield blocking his weapon.
Yes.
Oh, a toggle switch like the hats.
Yes.
Okay.
Lyra wants the ability to choose favorite locations, mounts, seeds, etc.
What does that mean exactly?
You might be too far away.
What does that mean exactly?
I'm thinking maybe like, I'm not sure.
Who typed that? Let's hear from you.
Lyra.
Lyra, what do you mean by that?
And Deal said locking gear so we don't accidentally sell them. I've seen a lot of requests about locking a bag.
Oh yes, and if somebody wants to return all of the items that you guys delete, I am all for this feature. All for it. So yeah,
that's what, about 80% of your customer service requests?
Not 80%, but it's a pretty good chunky amount. And I also know there's a big issue with the Verda always getting sold back.
Yeah. Are you going to give us our Verda back?
Haven't I already, man? Anyway, yeah, no, those kinds of technical, just CS kind of related things, very much we would like to get in very much in these later builds. And also, I'll just tell you one of my huge ones for me that I want to see is at the moment our system doesn't allow, once a mount has been equipped, it doesn't allow us to unequip it. So, gosh, I sure would like to see that change. Buyer's remorse and all. Okay, anyway, meanwhile, what else do you guys on your top 10 list?
Maybe.
What?
Go ahead, Angie.
Maybe something for when we feed our ranch animals, like something to put all of the stuff in so we don't have to keep it in our bags. And accidentally sell it to a charter vendor.
Something to put the stuff in.
Sort of like a feed trough for your animals, so you don't need to keep it in your vaults.
Okay, that's interesting. I like that.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, Damon, type that one on your list. Damon's typing all this up.
I want to increase the number that you can put in one of the inventory slots, like 350, make it 500.
Oh, that's an ongoing issue, isn't it? How about a maybe on that one?
Well, we're just listening right now, Sarah.
We are. In fact, I'll be back.
How do you even
listen really hard to that one?
Okay.
Was that Tweety?
How do you even define quality of life, like in terms of scope? Because, you asked for top 10, I could give you 100, but
I know
it's always difficult to, taper expectations based on what the scope of quality of life really is for you guys.
Well, it's, the function that I always use on things like this is what's the value and what's the time of development, So if something is really, really valuable and it's really, really easy to do, then we obviously just do it, right? If something's really, really valuable, but it's kind of hard, then that's where we start to think about, is this feature worth it? Obviously, if something's not that valuable and it's really, really hard, then we're never going to do that.
Got you. Yeah, I like that function. The difficulty can be, though, how do you gauge value? Is that something that you use the forum for, or is there some other way that you try to figure out what is the most valuable thing?
It's a mixture. So it's sort of a lot of it's intuition, but we listen to the community and we see how much interest there is, and then we evaluate the reasons, and then sort of add our own instincts and hunches as game players into that whole equation. So it's basically a blend of all of those factors. And sometimes we'll do things that we don't really think are a good idea, but if the community is really asking for it, then we know we're probably wrong, So we will override our own intuition sometimes when all the players are asking for something, because nobody's right all the time. So we'll factor it all in together. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense. And yeah, leave it to a programmer to turn the quality of life into an equation.
Yeah. Well, I guess an easier way to say it is a metaphor, just saying low-hanging fruit. We're always reaching for the low-hanging fruit,
Here's
So if there's if there's a big juicy apple that's right there within reach of our hand, then yeah, we'll grab it and put it in the game, you know?
Oh, I got a big juicy apple for you. Anywhere there's a gathering zone, let's have something there that's an NPC so you can buy, sell, or whatever, and let's have something where you can craft in those areas, like kind of like Kiwi, but the others aren't.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like something that would be really easy to do.
Yeah, we'll get us a list of which maps you'd want those on.
Here's another one that would be really easy. Somebody requested for Blight Isles to be added to as a hub.
Blight Bay.
Blight Bay, I'm sorry.
Oh.
And a vault in Black Bay would be really, really nice.
There is one.
There is one, but you have to buy it.
Right.
No, I've got one of those. I mean one that's there for good.
No,
There is one that's there for good.
Yeah. You are
In Black Bay? Really? I've got to go find that.
Yeah,
You have
You have
to
to buy it with medallions.
You have to have your reputation up, or you have to. You have to get a reputation to a certain point, and then you have to spend medallions on it, I think.
No, I know what you're talking about. No, I'm talking about like one that you have like that's in the village, the community vault, or any of those that it's just right there kind of at the telepad. So when you're running around getting all that stuff, you can just dump it there instead of having to go somewhere else.
It's right behind the Shade Nor medallion vendor.
Yeah, it is, sweetie. It's right next to.
Oh wow, I gotta go find that.
The Cinder medallion seller. It's you can't really see it, and you can't even click on it until after you've got your rep up and spent your medallions and bought it.
Well, that's probably never going to happen for me. I can't see in those zones at all.
Back to the top 10 quality of life issues. For me, on a day-to-day basis, I would say mobile mail should certainly hit the top 10 because that is just absolutely hideous to use.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
And so what's the number one complaint with mobile mail?
Well, we can start with that it only has that tiny little bar to write in, and you can't scroll back and forth. It's horrible to use. Absolutely horrible to use, especially if you make a mistake. Just have to start a new mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say, but I just wanted to make sure. I mean, because it could be that you would have said that and you had a totally different idea, and then we would have gone on and done all this work on the wrong thing. You would have been like, "What do you mean?"
Understandable.
All I meant was the text was too small or something. I don't know.
Also on mail on mobile, you can't put spaces in like you do on PC. So everything you type is like a paragraph if you type a lot.
There's no spaces. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like there's spaces, but it's not like how it is on PC. It's all runs in lines.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah, no carriage return, no formatting, nothing. It is just plain text typed into that tiny little bar that scrolls off. It's like one of the manual typewriters. It's horrible.
And you can't send a guild.
Right. Well, and there's a bunch of mobile stuff too. I know the village vault permissions. That's an issue for sure.
Hey, Sarah, don't be giving them ideas. Sarah's adding to our work list.
There's another issue with I have to reboot my tablet every day just to play the game because I don't know if it's the chat box is infinite, so it takes up so much memory.
Oh, good one. Yeah, that's actually one of those nice ones because that's probably easy to fix. It's probably like one line of code or something, you know.
I hope so.
Yeah, I clear game cache before I start playing every day.
I've sent a few bug reports in the past, but not lately about it.
I think some guild quality of life changes would be helpful as well, like being able to see how many people are in your guild or who the officers are in the guild list, for example.
Yeah.
By the way, we have some bigger stuff coming on quality of life, but we're not quite ready to talk about it yet, but it will be pretty cool. So I guess that's what you call a teaser.
Definitely is.
Another thing for quality of life that could be very useful for an open village would be to have on your friend list, you have your friend list and then you have a guild list. If you could have a village list that showed the same way that the guild list does with the green and yellow lights, so that you could kind of see when people were going to lose houses and that kind of thing, that would be very helpful.
So you're saying the players could all see when all the other players are going to lose their house? Is that the deal?
Well, when you look at your guild list, you can see if somebody logged in within the past day or week or month. You know, if it's been longer than that, then they've got a little icon that changes color. And if you could have that at least for the mayor, so that the mayor could know when they need to recruit for the village, that could be very helpful.
Yeah, no, that's kind of cool.
I think that's guild leader, not mayor.
I'm saying make one for villages in addition to the one for guilds.
Would it be weird if you went to anyone's house and you moused over it, you could know the last time they logged in? Or would that be a violation of privacy?
Yes, creepy.
Well, no, I'm asking them, not you.
I think some people would have an issue with that. Because like somebody from any village could go and scroll over anybody's house.
If you make it only guild members or village members can see it.
I'm thinking, just in the friend list, you've got a guild tab and a friend tab. Just make a village tab that mimics the guild tab, is what I was thinking.
Okay. What if every time you looked in the friends list, you'd know the last time your friend logged in? Is that weird?
I think that would be useful for cleaning out friends lists, people that don't play anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't find that weird.
Okay, that's not too creepy?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, if it was truly a privacy issue, you'd just unfriend them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is a lengthy silence.
I had a quick question now that I finally figured out how to operate push to talk.
Shoot.
Back to the option of showing and displaying, and what options we were back on the shields, and whether or not you can have the option to hide your shields. I was wondering about that too, if there was any way we could put that in soon, that we can not show the shield.
Yeah, I think somebody else wanted that too. So, yeah.
That doesn't seem too hard, right?
Well, there's a similar thing I wanted to put in, which is if you're mounted, your weapon, it actually doesn't appear if you're mounted.
Oh, I would love that.
I don't know what y'all think about that, but the problem is half the time it sticks into the mount.
Well, that's why it'd be great to toggle it off.
Exactly. And the shields too, because sometimes they're just cumbersome.
Yeah.
Oh. Semi-low hanging fruit, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, something that would really help us is if somebody got on the forums and organized sort of the most requested features, maybe with a poll or something like that, just so we have some confirmation on what the community really wants. That would be really useful,
You mean trying to condense that 39-page thread?
Well, I gotta say, I gave up on it. I had a list going of what I thought seemed to be the most popular, but it's just too big now.
Yeah, I pulled a single item out for the guild hall, and the last couple of posts were not happy posts. So good luck to whoever tries to condense that huge list.
Well, maybe it's time to close that thread and just start a new fresh one. And just get a list of, trying to get some confirmation, because 39 pages we don't have time to implement, much less even read.
Yeah, a lot of it is duplicates too, which is why I didn't bother posting on that.
Yeah, there is a lot of duplicates, which is good because that tells us immediately what is wanted.
Okay, I will go through that thread and see if I can set up a spreadsheet or something to make it a little bit easier to read and make it all one thing, and maybe weed out some of the things that there are some things that people have requested that you're like, really, that's never, this game isn't set up for that.
Right. Or what might actually be a little easier is if you go through and you determine what you think are, say, the 10 most wanted things, and then do a poll about those. And then let's see the whole community vote on which ones they are, most important to them. Something like that. And probably easier than you trying to do a giant spreadsheet of 40 pages.
I can do that.
All right. That would be great. Thank you. That sounds like a job for Mathfish. And I think Mathfish maybe can help.
I don't think he
Math says, ugh.
Sarah completely just volunteers Mathfish.
No, I think he doesn't want to.
Anyway, and yeah, doesn't have to be any immediate hurry the next few weeks or something. Because yeah, we are moving along. We're going to get obviously the next event zone out, and then some more hardcore work is on this project that we're not yet ready to share with you, is moving along.
I think there's going to be a live stream about it. It's been a while since we've had a live stream, and those are really fun.
I was wondering about that too. I've missed it.
I know, it's weird. We haven't done one for a while, and I don't know why. It's just been a lot of this, that, and the other.
It's been one thing after another. But yeah, it has. I think the last one, God, was it New Year's? Was that really the last one? That's the last one I remember doing.
Well, when we have more on this feature, we'll definitely live stream it. It's still very embryonic at this point. The core underlying tech has been written and it works
and implemented secretly.
The tech, but not the content and the design. So that's kind of that was the hardest piece. But anyway, that's done. But now there's a lot of work with UI and stuff like that.
Yeah, we could maybe do a live stream around Equinox, maybe something like that.
And what would be the topic, Sarah?
No idea.
Okay.
We're pretty good at chit-chatting.
What is the timeline of Equinox?
Well, we're shooting for the very end of this month, but knock on wood, things tend to happen, but that's the goal at least.
Yeah, our schedules got knocked off a lot by this gold exploit.
You don't need to talk about that.
Really? Why? I don't understand. Sarah doesn't want me to talk about the gold exploit. Did you all hear that there was a gold exploit?
Yeah, I saw.
I'm not allowed to say because what happens in mod chat stays in mod chat.
Okay. So I don't exactly know what Sarah's been saying.
Well, I haven't made any posts. Last Friday, we pushed it when we brought the server down. That was related to the gold exploit. I can tell you that now. We know obviously those of you on US1 know that last night was an explosion of gold. We're stopping. How do I say this?
Let me ask you. Did you say about half of you had already heard about the gold exploit?
I saw something in chat somewhere.
Okay. Yeah,
it has been obliquely referred to in other Discord channels.
Okay. Yeah. So we've been investigating it, and so it was just one of those things that pops up that we have to deal with, and we have some fixes, and we know some stuff now.
Yeah, we're very, very, very close to getting this all resolved once and for all. But that's also a reason why Equinox might possibly get delayed, because we've spent the past week on this exploit, etc.
Yeah.
So that's how that goes.
And you have changed the way you save the game so you can correct the problem efficiently.
Yes and no.
Ouch.
I mean, so we fixed a gold exploit already, and there may be more work to come. And there's been a lot of work on the back end. I don't want to go into the details, obviously, because I don't want to.
Obviously.
I don't want people to know where our vulnerabilities are or who's doing it or whatever. But basically, it was causing inflation. US1 had about twice as much gold as it should have. And so, of course, that leads to crazy inflation, and it can damage the auction house. Basically, it means
the 12,000 gold locked red daring chests that I saw posted.
Yeah, and what happens is then players that aren't participating or that are low level, now suddenly they can't participate in the auction house because everything's too expensive. So it's just really damaging to the economy, just like inflation in the real world, is damaging. So we had to sort of put everything aside and focus on that and investigate it. So we're hopefully getting this thing resolved and behind us very quickly. And luckily, we got it before it got really bad.
And I want to do a quick thank you to those of you who did come forward and were very honest. Thank you to those people.
Out of curiosity, I went to the US2 auction house to see if we had any of it going on, and we had one chest listed in the auction house for 6 gold and a 9 gold buyout.
That's very typical. That's a normal price as opposed to hundreds or thousands of gold.
Yeah, on US3, they're 3 to 4 gold each in chat.
Yeah,
I was just very happy to see that.
Yeah, we can actually see the.
There we go. That's the post I was talking about.
Yeah,
the money laundering or something.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of removal of gold as well.
We can actually see the total amount of gold in the economy, like across the entire server, so we know when something crazy is going on, because it's like, hey, suddenly there's way more gold in the economy than there should be.
Well, considering the last time that happened was before the Great Hackathon, or because of the Great Hackathon, I would understand why you keep a close eye on it.
Yeah, the last gold exploit we had was probably 6 years ago. It was a long time ago. And we fixed that one. And so it seems to happen once every 5 years we have a gold exploit. So hopefully we won't have another one for another 5 years.
It looks like you got a misplaced comma bug there.
I know. I saw that too. My brain doesn't like that. You're talking about the 1,75,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's disturbing, isn't it?
But
the good point is that's hardly ever going to show up.
I was going to say, how often do we have something that goes for over 1 million gold?
Yeah, that gold's going to be going away. If it hasn't already.
Where's it going? You can send it to me.
It's going to go to King Leo.
There you go.
It just turns into a 0. It just turns into a 0.
Just as an aside, or to get off topic, could you add a number of colored weapons? When I'm coming up with wardrobe ideas, I like the color blue, but there are very few blue swords.
Okay. Really?
Just putting it out there. There's a couple of really nice purple-looking swords, like a real long tachi, but when it comes to blue, there's only from what I've seen, only a single blue sword I've ever been able to find.
Single blue sword? Really? Okay. I would not have thought that, but that's something, again, that is easy to do.
Yeah, how about die kits? Die kits seem popular.
Yeah, the icicle sword is more white than blue. But yeah, it's like a blue tachi is the only blue sword.
Yeah. Yeah, we could take a pass over it. Eva could look at all the color schemes and see if there's a nice variety.
I like the idea of the crafting specialization for dyeing outfits and stuff.
But yeah, if you'll get a list together of stuff you'd like to see, and we could even take a pass on our end and just tell you right off the bat if something's too hard or not.
Like jewelry crafting specialization. Probably not going to happen, right?
Yeah, I
I
don't.
suspect the dye isn't either.
An answer. Well, like dye would take a considerable amount of time and work, but that doesn't mean it's a no necessarily.
But making a jewelry special.
I bet it.
But making a jewelry specialization would be a lot of work.
I wouldn't say for sure it would be. Again, we would need to investigate more. It might not be as difficult as at first glance. So
I still want tattoos.
Yeah.
I love tattoos. That's always been on the list. Yeah.
Yeah, tattoos and face paint and
piercings
and jewelry and stuff and makeup has been on our list forever.
Don't make a specialization. If you make a specialization, we can't change it.
If it's been on the list forever, I think it's time for it.
It is. We need to. I think. Well, now we have another artist. Maybe that's something we get Ryan on. Anyway, talking to myself there. You're right about not being able to change crafting specializations because of what you've already chosen. So maybe we could come up with a workaround so that people could. I don't know, maybe once every 2 years, people have a chance to change it, something like that. And when we first introduce a new specialization, that would be the beginning of it, you know? I don't know, just playing around there with some ideas.
Well, instead of a specialization, what if it was like a new crafting station?
The whole new form of crafting, you mean?
Yeah, like tailoring, smithing and stuff, like a dye crafter. A salon, yeah, a salon.
I certainly think it's an interesting idea. Again, I can't say how much time and work that would involve, but I like it. Well, dye kits, of course. Being able to customize anything is a huge, huge plus. A salon, yeah, a salon would be cool. Type that, Damon. Salon. What?
Alrighty, well, we've been going for almost an hour. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to add or that wasn't talked about?
I have one more quick one. What about having the option to not have ranch farm animals? Like, what if you wanted to grow 2 farm crops? No? Yes? Like, I thought that would be so cool.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I would like to even add more flexibility towards what you can do with your house lot than, that. Like, way more. That would be really cool.
Right. Like, say, because I'm not big on the ranch animal part of it, but the garden I'm so gung-ho about, and you only get 25. But it would be nice to see if you had the option, instead of doing the ranch animals, that maybe you could throw in, like you could have 2 garden slots for those of us that would rather garden.
Right.
And we should make it so it'd be nice to make it so other people can garden for you.
Yeah.
Your front garden.
Something that I would like to say while everybody's here is I am thinking about trying to do this once a month. If people could DM me with what day or time works out best, I can try and schedule around that way. I can't promise to have a developer here every time, but it's something that we could throw on YouTube and developers could, get a pulse for things that, players feel are important or that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll try to make more of these if y'all are wanting to do them.
Absolutely. We love getting our developers involved.
Quivers.
On the list. Quivers.
Does that mean you're afraid?
Damon made a dad joke.
Yep.
I miss the conforming shields.
Okay, well, I think that just about wraps it up then. If people DM me with, days of the week and times that work out best, I can get the next one scheduled up and we can go from there. I know that the developers have a lot of stuff going on with the gold exploit and oases.
And hey, don't forget Private Otter. That's still on the calendar.
Woohoo! We love Private Otter.
It's going to be fun this year. We're mixing things up a bit.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
So, PD, big thank you for organizing this whole thing.
Yes, thank you.
It's great. Damon loves talking to the community. So do I. We'll try to do it more often. And we owe you all a live stream. We'll see if we can even get maybe Ever on one. That'd be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you all. It's good talking to you all.
Thanks, Damon. Thanks, Sarah. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are great.
Damon and Sarah.
Thanks, PD.
Thanks for hosting this, PD.
Thank you.